President Muhammadu Buhari has appointed Doyin Salami as his chief economic advisor. Salami is the current chairman of the Presidential Economic Advisory Council. His appointment comes at the twilight of the Buhari's administration. And as the chief economic advisor to the president, Doyin Salami is expected to develop and recommend to the president national economic policies to foster macroeconomic stability, promote growth, create jobs, and eradicate poverty. Salami has a doctorate degree in economics and is the managing director and head market practice at Kainos Edge Consulting Limited.
All right, to discuss this new appointment, we're joined by none other than Paul Alaje, an economic expert and senior partner at SPM Professionals. Thank you so much for joining us, and a Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year.
Yes, it's still early days in the new year. Okay, so, apparently, Doyin Salami comes with a lot of pedigree. But a lot of people are asking, is this not too little, too late? It's the first time the president will be appointing a chief economic advisor. What exactly can be achieved in the next, in less than 17 months?
Well, I think the president has somebody who is currently advising economic matters. I think, is it Dr. Dipelu, but not the chief economic advisor.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So you have somebody in that capacity. Now, having somebody as chief economic advisor, I would say, is one of the steps in the right direction, although in a very late timing. Buhari's administration, he won the second term, so we say it's 8-year tenure. Today we are looking at approximately 1.5 years to the end of his tenure. Mm-hmm. So we've lost about 6 years, 6 months. And when you place the government on some economic parameter, you ask what is happening to unemployment. Unemployment, according to the National Bureau of Statistics, is more than 33%. When the Buhari administration came to office, it was less than 10%. Today, what is inflation? Inflation has gone up 18% twice within the administration and now at 15.4%. Again, not my figures, according to the National Bureau of Statistics. Now, when you look at what inflation was when the government came on board, it was 9%,
yeah.
9+%, single digit. But we've since about around November or so, 2015 till date, we've never had single digit. In fact, recent release by World Bank says that Nigeria may go into another recession. And note that it should be one of the reasons will be because of double-digit inflation. We hope we will come out of it. So I'm not surprised that the president is trying to fight the economy on all fronts by bringing Dr. Salami on board. That's on one hand. Recall that government has also launched in December last year a national development plan so that we can actually revamp this economy. Because projection coming from IMF is not so different from what World Bank said regarding that Nigeria, that's IMF staff report, that Nigeria may also go back into recession in 2022. You may be surprised. People are wondering, but we had 5% in Q2, we are 4% in Q3. What many people did not realize is that those growth were based on a negative base year in 2020. When you know whether the economy is really strong or not, is what second quarter report of this year, 2022, will give us. If it will even be up to 2%. So that's why World Bank is giving on one and IMF. So for me, whosoever can help revamp the economy in terms of policy. But the question a lot of people asked me earlier today is, but this man is the chairman of Presidential
Economic
Advisory Council.
How is it different from...
What is he now going to do that is becoming chief economic advisor to I said, well, I am not the man, but the best I can tell you is, as chief economic advisor in a council, you are just advisors. It's left for your principals or those you are talking to listen. So, but if you ask me, if I were to advise President Buhari, what Nigeria needs is a coordinating person, like a coordinating minister.
Like you had Okonjo-Iweala.
Like we had Okonjo-Iweala. And do I think the pedigree of Mr. Salami is sufficient? I think it is. We need someone to coordinate so that there can be communication, there can be convergence of policy. What monetary authority?
But isn't that white peak or peak is there, the PEAC? Isn't that why?
I would not like to mention some competitive of
No, but I think it's very important because it's part of the government strategy, putting eggheads together on how to reinvigorate the economy. which you reeled out MBS statistics.
Again,
because the way you're putting it is like this appointment is insignificant. It's not going to add any value in 17 months.
Is that what it is?
Well, I'm not saying it will or it will not. I'm just saying look at the numbers.
Is that what it is?
When you had peak, what happens to unemployment? What happens to inflation? What happens to poverty? What happens to... You mention all the major economic parameters. But I am saying that the person, maybe the reason why presidents now appoint is that he now wants to give this individual among the committee member an executive power. It could be.
To
accelerate some of the decisions they are taking at that committee or any economic committee at all. Because as chief economic advisor, I want to believe that, like we have for information or about press, about media, if you have somebody for economy, the person may also be able to now perform. You know, speaking directly to the president. I hope that is what it is, so that we can see changes. Because he's a doctor of economics, maybe a professor, I don't know. But the things I've read about the man and the integrity of the man is never in doubt. But I would suggest, I would suggest that the president also look at, maybe as one of the functions of these appointed persons, to coordinate. You know what is happening between FRS and I'm talking economic ones, and the custom. So we say we need revenue. Revenue is an economic discourse. Now we have somebody, will we allow the person not just to speak, but for agencies of government to truly listen and implement the thing that the person would say?
But apparently part of what he'll be doing is to come up with, you know, at least monitor international trends and develop appropriate policy responses. Do you get a sense that in the last 2 years, you know, of the Buhari administration, this government has suddenly woken up to the fact that, hey, we need to leave real strong legacy behind? Because it looks like the president really has been, has picked up in his activities, going to Turkey, UAE, and all of that. Is that part of what is playing out, or is this an attempt to reward Doyin Salami for a job well done at peak?
I really don't think it's just to reward Dr. Doyin Salami. And if that is what president wants to do, well, it's fine. But I think it's beyond that. What are we going to remember President Buhari for? Economy, security, politics, and limits. Those are the things a leader will be remembered for.
Is that what he's on about now?
I think that is what it's about. Because President Buhari will never become president under this constitution again. Never. Yeah. So he will do 8 years, and I'm praying that God will grant him long life. He will do his complete 8 years. But we now look back to 2015, May 29th, when Mr. President was sworn into office, and now what has changed? What was exchange rate on that day? Parallel market and official rate. And when President Buhari will be going, depending on date, maybe it's May 29, maybe it's June 12, depending on the date that stakeholders agree to, when President Buhari will be leaving, what will be the quality of money that determines, it measures our wealth. So for 500 naira earned in 2015, the same 500 naira earned today, is it the same price? Is it the same amount? So these are things, that's why I'm not surprised President is bringing such a person like this, but I hope that the room to work will also be given, because politics is different from economics. But you cannot achieve more in politics if you don't, especially if you want to see development, without allowing
politics is different from governance. And very quickly, the National Development Plan, it seems a tripod that the president to want to regenerate Nigeria's economic fortunes. So this might be a very auspicious time, having the chief economic advisor. Don't look at the time that the president is leaving, but look at the merits, the values that the development plans will bring to the country.
The value of development plan is not in doubt, at least on paper. We had National Economic Recovery Plan. You invited me to this studio, and I said it will not achieve 50% of its target. Because revenue was not measured, it never did up to 50% of this target. We have written National Development Plan. We have said private sector will reach 85%. Have we identified the private sector is better, is a major improvement to what we had. We call it Economic Recovery and Growth Plan. This is a major improvement to it. But you see, the third volume of this document, National Development Plan, already told us whether it will succeed or it will go the way. If government And I like the people that wrote this document. They did not shy away from what government must do. Because in this economy, it is centralized on our government. And I hope authorities will do the right thing so that we can reap the benefits of over 300 trillion naira.
Thank you so very much, Paul Alaje, economist and consulting director with the
SPM Professionals.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you so much.